Whenever I think about Amethyst's struggles in this episode, along with Crack the Whip and Steven vs. Amethyst, it really feels like that she wants to prove herself to be better, but at the same time, she can't be able to do everything on her own. And if Steven was in her position, I can guarantee you that it would have made Steven out of character, especially of how he was executed in the last episode that I've talked about yesterday. This episode, the beta, really showcases of what Amethyst is dealing with when it comes to how she's not always in a good mood. Even though that the majority of the episode centers around Peridot and Lapis' life at the barn. And considering that they were close to reconciling with each other, it really feels like this is the closest that Lapis can feel towards Peridot in any other capacity. I say any because judging of how her trauma is healing, it really shows that her relationship with Peridot is really as slow-paced up until the movie and in future, even though in future they barely interact with each other. The majority of the episode centers around Steven and Amethyst hanging out with Peridot and Lapis at the barn, which leads to Peridot taking Steven and Amethyst to the Beta Kindergarten, which is where Jasper was formed, while Amethyst was formed in the Prime Kindergarten. You know something, guys? Whenever I think about the Beta Kindergarten, it really feels like it's the total opposite in comparison to the Prime Kindergarten due to how mysterious it is, and judging of how Amethyst's character was developed so much, it really feels like if she was born in the Beta Kindergarten, I can guarantee you that her development and personality would be a lot more different. Usually when it comes to Jasper's character, it really feels like that for how she's portrayed ever since her debut, it made me think that if she was from the Prime Kindergarten, she would have had a huge disadvantage in comparison to Amethyst. But considering that they're gonna be completely different and not mostly the same ones by being formed into different locations, it's honestly an interesting alternative in comparison to what we've seen from this show. Believe me, whenever I think about the kindergarten, I honestly thought about the Prime Kindergarten that I did research upon doing my Season 1 reviews. And when it comes to this, I honestly didn't expect that there were two different kindergartens, which really shows that watching this episode for the first time, I completely forgot about what Peridot had said. So, to be perfectly honest, I really don't have anything else to say about this episode, other than leading to the events of the following episode. We've reached to a point that, similar to some episodes from before, there's really nothing else I can say about this episode, and when it comes to the fan service between Peridot and Lapis, it works, but at the same time, I'm not a huge shipper between the two. Even though that the Beta Kindergarten is the origins of where Jasper came from, it still wasn't enough for me to find anything to think about when it comes to this episode in particular, and when it comes to the following episodes that we're going to be talking about tomorrow, it's the closest that I can describe Jasper's character in the predicament that she's in against Steven and Amethyst, all the while that it has the development centering around Steven and Amethyst. With that being said, I'm giving this episode a 6.5 out of 10.